following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Let's go, baby.
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break.
With Nick Eatman, David Hellman, Ambar Garcia, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, October 11th, 2019, Season 15, Episode number 62. Welcome to another edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're going to get you guys ready for this Cowboys versus Jets game. It kicks off at 3:30 this Sunday in New Jersey. We'll get you guys ready for this game. How's everybody feeling this Friday morning?
I feel fantastic, Derek. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. Amber, you good?
I'm surviving.
Good to have you back on the show. Nick, how you doing?
Good.
Good. All right, let's jump in. We got to talk about injuries, man. It seems like you get familiar with what's happening on the field. And actually, as of yesterday when we did the show, it felt like from the injury standpoint, things were looking kind of positive for the Cowboys. And then we find out about another player that ended up on the injury report yesterday. Talk to me about Randall Cobb and where he is.
Not at practice. He got out of stretch line or out of drills yesterday and had the trainers kind of stretching his back out, the hamstring stretches that you see athletes do. And then he left practice and showed up on the injury report. I guess he didn't come back. It's a back. I didn't get to go to Jason Garrett's press conference today, so I don't know a ton other than that. But he wasn't at practice today, which, as we always say, is not usually a good sign. The other thing, too, is neither one of the offensive tackles was there again today, which that's why we always say is carry it all the way through till Friday, because I've felt confident all week that Tyron would play in this game. I still think he will, but if he does...
We were hearing that he was going to practice today or do something.
Yeah,
but
and that's why you wait till Friday. If I had to say, I still kind of feel like he's going to play, but it'll be without practice, which is never a good thing.
Jason Garrett said that he expects one of the two tackles to play.
Jerry Jones or Jason Garrett?
Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry said that.
Jerry said that on the radio.
Yeah, he expects one of them.
He's like, well, we won't know till later today or maybe even as late as Saturday, but I expect one of the – he's like, we'll have half of them back is what he said. And I said on Twitter today, I think the smart bet is Tyron just because he's further removed from his injury. You just have conversations around here. I don't think – there was ever a ton of realistic expectation that Lyle was going to play in this game.
Has Lyle missed a game?
Ever? It's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
I think they sat him down at the end of 2017 because he had a back injury, like for that Eagles game.
I feel like
maybe
he has.
I think he's missed at least one or two.
I think 2017 is the year he actually played every snap.
Damn. I feel like his injury has. I'll look this up. You keep talking.
The interesting thing, too, is if both guys miss the game, then you wonder, would they have enough guys that are healthy to just be activated? But I do think that Knight and Cam Fleming would start. I guess Connor would be your backup swing
and
guy there.
Guards,
and then Suafilo would be a backup, and then Adam Redmond would also probably be active if that happens.
Well, he was on IR for most of 2016 with that toe injury. I forgot about that. But you're right. He didn't miss any games in 2017. He has dealt with plenty of injuries over that time span, though.
Forgot about that toe.
Yeah, it's it's never good when you get to Friday and the guy that's been battling the injury isn't in practice. Like if they can get out there and on Friday, you typically feel good about it.
And the thing about Tyron, too, is that usually you say, well, he's the kind of guy that could miss a week or miss practice and still play. But this is 2 weeks now of practice. This is this is since that Saints injury. So I still think he could do it.
He's in that very special category of guys who I think could do it. It's just going to be a wait and see. I mean, like I said, the indication around here all week has been that they thought they could get him onto the field today, like Amber just said. So not a total curveball because, again, he's only 2 weeks removed from that injury. But it is interesting. And so I think you got to prepare for a variety of options. It could be Tyron and Cam Fleming. It could be Cam Fleming and Brandon Knight. I don't really buy that Lyle is a realistic consideration, though.
Talk to me about Leighton Vander Esch, where he is in his recovery.
He's out there. He's at practice. Vertigo, which I've never had it, but I know people that have.
Say it's very disconcerting.
Yeah, I mean, like nausea, like it can, make you throw up.
Well, he was having issues with his ear, so that causes you to mess up your balance.
Mm-hmm.
Your equilibrium. There we go, equilibrium, something like that. It messes you up. So it sounds like something that is not really a big deal, but when you look at the effects of it and you having to play football, run and catch somebody and tackle somebody, then it might have a big effect there.
I don't know if it's the same exactly as a dog, but wolves actually probably hear things a little bit different than dogs and stuff like that. So it might be a situation like that where he's hearing things that other people haven't heard.
Yeah, wolf hunter. That's
right. It's possible.
He's a wolf hunter, not a wolf.
I don't know. He howls though.
My first thing,
he's trying to draw wolves out.
When we heard it was vertigo, I was like, maybe that's part of the reason why he kind of struggled on Sunday.
Did you?
I mean,
but
we all probably thought that a little bit, and then we probably dismissed
I've heard
it pretty
that,
quickly.
but hasn't he been struggling prior to last week?
I mean, he hadn't been great. He hadn't been great, but I don't.
Last week was a whole different.
He
level
wasn't playing as poorly as he did against Green Bay.
but still, the margin is not that far off.
Knowing what I know about vertigo, I don't think I believe that you could competently even get out there if you were really suffering from it, though. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't think so.
So
I assume it's like everything else. There are varying degrees of it. So, just depends on how bad it is.
It's funny because yesterday, all we knew was that he had an illness. And, you can get IVs and they'll get you a Z-Pack and they'll get you right and flush your system out in time for the game. I don't know what you do to combat vertigo. I don't really know how that works. But if he's at practice on Friday, I assume that means they feel good about his availability.
One bit of good news for the Cowboys, Antoine Woods practiced fully yesterday. Hopefully that means that he'd be back in the lineup. That can help. I know you guys have talked a lot this week about the fact you think that'll really help the run defense going up against what many believe is one of the better running backs in the league. Regardless of what you think of their entire team, he has skill. And so getting him back obviously makes a difference.
Yep. Caught an onside kick, too.
Say again?
He caught an onside kick today, too. That was fun. Yep.
They practice. Well, it's harsh. It's not really practice. Would you call that practicing onside kicks? They just it's their fun Friday bit. Is they Garrett picks 2 or 3 guys at random to come up and field an onside.
Not
kick.
Always players either.
Coaches do it.
Bloom,
I was about to say, has Ben done it?
The linebackers, Ben Bloom, the linebackers coach, is a pro. He's amazing at it.
I think I don't think they did that today.
He didn't do it today.
Maybe the way
Antoine did.
They've been playing and let's
welcome
get
back,
a little
Antoine.
focus. But Antoine goes out there and gets it. But it's different guys, security guys, scouts.
So, but
any chance you guys get out there one day?
No.
I'll catch it.
Even if he just said, "Hey, Dave," he motioned you over, what would you do? Would you just turn and run?
I wouldn't turn and run. I think I would. I would freeze, like a deer in the headlights. Like,
here we go. We're rubbing eyebrows right now. We're just like, I don't know what to do right now.
So past rubbing my eyebrows, I would have like an out of body experience.
All right, so let's talk about inactives, and I'm gonna pin you guys down a little bit on these injuries because that's gonna obviously factor into this. But let's walk through this. Do you guys think? And I'm gonna throw out the names of the guys that are injured, and you let me know whether you think that they're gonna play or not. Randall Cobb.
No.
No.
All right. Lyle Collins.
No.
No.
All right. Tyron Smith.
Yes.
For a half.
What?
For a half.
So he starts.
Yeah.
All right.
Get
Amber?
a little bit in
Does
there.
he start or do they throw him in there?
That means he's got to be active.
I don't
That
think
means
they
he's
throw
got to be active. Amber.
I don't like it, but
It's
probably a little bit.
Okay.
It's funny. I talked to somebody in the locker room. Another media guy. We were just talking about it, and he goes like, "Nah, there's no way. Not against the Jets." And I was like, "Man, I said that about an hour ago on our show, and 3 people just were like, no, you can't say that. They're 3-2." But I still think that the Jets is part of it. If you feel like you can go win the game, you got an Eagle game coming up that's really, really, really important.
I just
get him out there, score some points, pull him out. You're good.
I sent you my gut feeling right before I came down to do the show, and I wrote this, and I believe it. behind quarterback, like what absence is most likely to completely derail a football team? I think it's
this
offensive.
team, probably tackle.
I mean, really any team, I think. Like, assuming that your tackle is good, like not having good offensive tackles can
also
completely
depends on how
ruin
good
your
your
game.
quarterback is, too, because I think there's some teams where the quarterback is so good that losing the tackle may not be as drastic. But you're right. On this team, yes, losing the left tackle is a big deal.
I think it's important that he plays if he can. I mean, don't put him out there if he can't do it, but if he can play, I think it's important that he does.
So we've got, out of those three, you guys think maybe one plays Tyron. Leighton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So you're down to really two guys that are out due to injury. Any of the limited guys concern you? Amari Cooper, Zach Martin, Tyrone Crawford?
Nope.
No, they'll be out there.
So basically, you're going to fill in with the guys that are the typicals that'll be missing games, that have been inactive for other games.
Every week.
Except for Adam Redmond. Adam Redmond, I think, is active.
Think
really?
So?
Why do you have to, though?
Because you've got a wide receiver now that's probably not going to be active, and you're not going to replace him with a wide receiver. So if Amber says go out there, score some points, pull them out of the game, that sounds good. But this isn't preseason where you have a lot of guys unless you put Adam Redmond active, because then now you're down to, because you're saying both your tackles would be out in the second half of the game, and then, or whatever happens, you're down to no tackles, and then you got Connor Williams would have to come in, and then Redmond. So
but don't you have two guard centers that you could play, right?
Okay, if Cobb's inactive, who's active now? Because somebody gets to be active. So who?
Probably Devin Smith.
Devin Smith's always active.
He wasn't active last week.
Yeah, he wasn't active last week.
Well, then Devin Smith then, because that's good for your feature.
Yeah.
I thought Devin Smith was active last week.
No, he was not active last week. No, he was not active last week.
Devin Smith. Active.
Every week at practice, we come up with just try to guess what we think it is. Today, the list we came up with: Cedric Wilson, Lyle Collins, Adam Redmond, Joe Jackson, probably Tristan Hill again. Tyrone.
If you get Antoine back,
Antoine Woods is back. Luke Gifford, and this one I wonder about Donovan Wilson though, because it seems like he's doing a lot of special teams stuff. Mm-hmm. It makes sense, but the thing that might happen is they would love to get Donovan Wilson up, but if Randall Cobb can't play, then you probably don't want two inactive wide receivers.
Yeah, Devin's fun.
So if Randall Cobb plays, then maybe Donovan Wilson gets up, but if he doesn't play, then I would say he probably sits.
Yep. So. All right, let's go ahead and take our break. And when we come back, I do want to talk a little bit about the game itself. I'm going to go around the table, and I'm going to ask you guys each to give me one key for the Cowboys to be able to get a win this week against the Jets. We'll talk about that when we come right back. This is DallasCowboys.com radio.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
Do you want the most interesting, up-to-the-minute Dallas Cowboys news straight from the Star in Frisco? How about exclusive and on command? That's right, news and nuggets you can't find anywhere else. With our exclusive Cowboys content on Alexa, you can have all the answers, secrets, stories, and more. What's Stephen Jones thinking during a game? What's Joe Looney's favorite pregame meal? We take your questions to Cowboys players and coaches, and you can hear the answers directly back to you. Just say, Alexa, open Dallas Cowboys.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
The excitement of Dallas Cowboys football is back at AT&T Stadium.
The place is going crazy in Arlington, Texas.
Don't miss your chance to see the Cowboys live when they host their NFC East rivals, the Eagles, Giants, and Redskins, plus the Green Bay Packers and more.
Elliott works his way through and walks the dog.
Single game tickets are on sale now. Get them before they're gone.
First and goal, quarterback sneak. Prescott pushes up the middle. Touchdown.
Visit DallasCowboys.com to get your tickets today.
Back to the break.
Free to play. I'm just going to go right to it. 30-minute show, free to play, predictive game, Dallas Cowboys app. You can win up to $10,000 in a grand prize. You have to be 21 or older. I bet you are, or you'd be in school. Logged in now to play. Download the app for access on game days at DallasCowboys.com/app.
Make sure you get into the app and get in right now. Actually, you can make all your picks for your questions for the beginning of the game. Remember, you have to go back each quarter. There's questions that are added in second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter for you to be able to answer questions in each of those quarters. So you can go in right now, get all your questions in before the game begins, and then try to earn some of that money. All right, let's jump back in. I do want to get some keys to the game from each of you. Let's go around the table. I want you to just give me one thing alone that you think is a key, the biggest key in your mind for the Cowboys to get a win. Nick, we'll start with
first downs. You got to get some yards on first downs. Don't run a 1 yard run with Zeke. Get about 4 or 5 yards. Get some big plays, but don't get behind the chains. You can win this game up front you can win this game on offense this is the number one offense in the league going up against the worst offense in the league. So just act like it. Go out there, get some yards on first down. Don't get behind the chains where you have to force it, and you should be able to score 28, 31, 35 points.
When you say don't get a 1 yard run from Zeke, are you saying you would opt to not go with the run, or are you just saying they got to be better at
block
the
them? Knock them off the ball. Have success on first down. If you have success on first down, I think you'd play downhill and you'll kick their ass.
Okay.
That's what I believe.
Amber.
I pretty much agree with that. That's exactly kind of what I was going to say. Go ahead and start off fast. Don't do what you've been doing, because even if you come back home with a win, let's say scoring back to over 30 points, doesn't matter. Yes, it matters. You won a game, but when you're about to face the Eagles and upcoming teams, that's the kind of problem I want to see them resolve this weekend.
You're saying first quarter. Quarter. I'm saying first down, first quarter, great too.
If by you starting off and getting yards and stuff, essentially it's kind of what you were saying too. So just go ahead and start off fast. Don't wait until after the second half of the game to start scoring points and moving the chains. That's my biggest thing now. And then seeing what Brett Maher was, what he does in this game, him not missing anything. I regret not being here when you guys talked about him on the show, because I was listening and I'm like, cussing? Well, no. I was just upset. But it's like I'm upset, but I'm not upset anymore because they did that to themselves. So that's what you get. When you don't bring a competition at training camp, that's what you get. I don't feel bad. Even though it's upsetting, I don't feel bad anymore. Or, even though that's a position that they say you can just bring in a guy and plug him right in. I don't care. You didn't bring competition. This is what you get. And I hope you learn from it down the lane.
Sounds like somebody's disappointed mom. Like, I'm not mad, I'm disappointed.
Right.
Yes.
Which is even worse.
Yeah. Oh, always.
Yeah.
I'm worried about them winning the line of scrimmage, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. The defense doesn't really worry me. Antoine's back. I think the linebackers can't play much worse than they did against Green Bay, so they'll be better. The Jets' offensive line is not very good. I can't imagine them just absolutely getting gashed the way they did last week by this team. So that doesn't bother me. What worries me is, the Dallas offensive line, you might not have either starting tackle. Even if Tyron gets out there, he's not going to be 100%. The Jets don't get sacks, but they do have talent up there. We talked about that. You got a good nose tackle who can clog things up. Leonard Williams is there. I just worry about Dak not having time. I worry about Jamal Adams being in the box and mucking that up, and Zeke not being able to run the ball. If they can win that consistently, again, it's the run and the pass, this game shouldn't be that stressful. But with the injuries, I worry that they won't be able to.
All right. I would say, really, I think it's on defense this week. It's all about them clearing up the problems that they've had in the past few weeks with regards to them getting in the right fits, making sure that they aren't getting out of position, that they're right where they're supposed to be. Because I think by and large, the talent's there. I think the calls are right. I think just what we've seen really more this last game. I don't like packaging those two together because I think in the New Orleans game they actually played pretty well. The defense did. But I think in this last game we saw some cracks that we hadn't really seen. I hadn't really seen a lot this year where literally they're just not in the right place at the right time. And I think if they clean that up and they just play good sound football, I think they'll overwhelm this Jets team because I don't think that offense is a really good offense. I think there are ways for them to be able to shut them down. If they can shut them down, then they're able to overcome what's happening on offense from the standpoint of guys being out with injuries. Even if they get out to a slow start, again, the defense will be what holds them in this game, and then you kind of go from there. So I think really this game is all about the defense and how well the defense plays. And if they can get back on track to being what they were, let's say, in the New Orleans game, I think that would end up being against an offense like this. I think they hold this team to 3 or 6 points if they have that level of effort that they had against the Saints.
So is it cool to win by like a touchdown and a field goal?
Winning in the NFL, win by 1 point.
Yeah, I get
win
it,
by 1 point. I don't. And honestly, I'm never the person that's going to be like style points matter in professional football. They matter in college football because you still have to deal with pole. In professional football, it does not matter. A win is a win. A loss is a loss. It's no different than saying, well, they don't get credit because they played the Saints close. They lost. A loss is still a loss, in my opinion.
And honestly,
that's debatable, but
debatable.
It is, but here it's funny
for us, but not for the NFL and how the NFL works. A win's a win, a loss
yeah,
a
but
loss.
when you talk about a team, okay, like the Jets, and again, you can't judge a team necessarily because they haven't won a single game. Things can happen in the NFL. In the NFL, we've seen it happen, but at the same time, it's the way they play. Okay, we come back here and start analyzing this whole team for a whole week and start debating whether they're good enough or not good enough. And then, it matters how you win this game.
Yeah, for us. That's what I'm saying.
But that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the standings. So, because what if we just said, all right, welcome to the show. Like, well, they won. How did it happen? No, they won. I mean, we don't.
Yes, but I guess the point, maybe I misunderstood the question. That doesn't matter in the grand scheme of how good this team is or how not good this team is. That matters just because it's a talking point. Right, we're going to talk about it, and that's fine. And that's fine. And that's fine for us and fans and how we feel about it. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to whether they're a good team or bad team, all you're going to look at is wins and losses.
Right.
And wins and losses will affect how you get in the playoffs, where you're seated in the playoffs, and then ultimately wins and losses determine who's going to be the champion.
Right, but okay, I think what we're saying is that you win this game 34-7, you go up and you play the Eagles, and I think they're going to be winning against the Eagles. You win this game 27-24 in overtime, you're not expected to beat the Eagles. I mean, like, you're looking at it like how this team is playing. And so, it's still 4-2, but at the same time, you're like, well, this is not a good football team at all. This is a bad 4-2 football team.
You know what's funny, though, is the ultimate example of me grading on a curve, like Miami game, absolutely. They needed to win that game by 20-plus for me to feel like they were good. With the situation with these tackles, it changes my expectation for what this game might look like completely. And I go, home game against the Dolphins, I'm like, they need to win by 30. Road game against the Jets, without Tyron and Lyle Collins, I'm like, just get through this thing, honestly. Get through it and get people healthier, and I'll judge you.
No more guys getting hurt.
And they will. I understand that. Like, there's always going to be injuries. That's nothing new. But, like, maybe it's just PTSD from that 2017 Atlanta game. But I'm just like, get through this game however you can. I think they should still win pretty comfortably, but my expectations are totally different than the Miami game.
I guess I just look at it like there are always, in the NFL, even in college football, there are always going to be weeks when teams, just for whatever reason, can't quite get going. And when you have those kind of situations, to me, what shows a really good team is those teams that even when it's not working out for them, like they're beating their heads against a brick wall, they still find a way to win. And that's why I'm still a big believer in, if you get the win, honestly, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. You found a way, even on a bad day, to get a win. It's the bad teams that on a bad day end up losing to a bad team, right?
Yeah, I think what we're saying, or at least what I'm saying, is that your expectations of this team and where they're going to go can change on how they play the game.
Yeah.
That's so.
And we're kind of agreeing.
Yeah,
we're probably talking semantics here a little.
Okay, at the end of the day, yes, a win is a win. But how did you get that win?
If Aaron Donald does what
for us, Sam
Donald, not Aaron Donald,
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold does what Aaron Rodgers did. I think everybody's going to be concerned about. Okay, this guy just carved him up a little bit. This defense.
But have we seen enough of Darnold to know what he is right now? I mean, we have. I mean, he's a second, third year player.
That's the point. I mean, he hasn't played enough to be carving you up like that. He should. And for you to be as good as this Hot Boys and all that stuff, and they're still saying
they're not as hot.
Well, they're still doing stuff though. Sure. I mean, that should be suspended right now, but they're not. They're still doing
boys.
it. It's cooled off for sure. And I'm just saying, if Darnold goes out there and lights them up,
the boy just boy.
Are we all going to be a little concerned by that? Because it's like, it's Aaron Rodgers. He's a magician.
To be honest with you, I already am just a little bit concerned about that offense because I just don't know what to expect from him. They have a running back that they haven't really been able to realize what he can be because they've had Falk out there. They have not had a quarterback for these last few weeks. So
they scored
I don't know.
8 points when they had him and all that other stuff.
I get it, Dave. I'm just saying I don't know. I don't know, and so for me, it makes me a little uneasy as to what they're going to be.
I'll just give you my prediction. I'm expecting kind of an ugly, sloppy. I think Dak will make some plays. I think it's going to be a grinded out type of running day. I think they'll pull away. I said 27-13. I could see 27-9. So just kind of like a convincing win, but just kind of a little gross. But I agree with Nick that that wouldn't bother me because I'm like, oh, you didn't have your tackles, blah 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 blah. But if they win 38-35 and it's just offenses zipping up and down the field, then I'm concerned because this offense just should not be able to do that to this defense if they're as good as they're supposed to be.
Okay,
and I don't think that'll happen.
And I have 28-13. So I haven't made
maybe y'all
the
giving this
point.
There you go. I got Brett Maher going 2 for 2, baby. Let's go.
Nice. Maybe it's that you guys are giving more credit to the defense than I am. Right now, I don't know what this defense is. I don't know. They're certainly not as good as they were last year.
Yeah, but
I don't know what they are right now.
It's really more me saying I just don't think the Jets are worth a damn on offense. That's all it is.
Yeah.
The defense, we'll see. We'll get a great look at what they are against Philly, but I just don't think the Jets should be able to do that to them.
Yeah.
When you start talking about which side of the ball is playing better or whatever, I still go back to that Saints game and what the Cowboys defense was able to do, containing them to only, 12 points?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why my main concern is still the offense and what they're doing. The fact that my expectations, at least for last week, having Michael Gallup back, I thought, okay, well, maybe he was the missing piece that was needed to make the offense click again, and that didn't happen. And I understand Tyron wasn't a part of the O-line and all that, but I don't know. I'm concerned about the receivers a little bit. I think that they should rely more. Huh?
No, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking of the score in my mind. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just saying I think they should rely a little more on Zeke just because I don't feel that Michael Gallup is 100% just yet.
He played awesome last week. Where's this coming from?
Every time he's been on the field, he's played awesome.
He had 100 yards.
But it's still it didn't seem like I've been watching him from the past. It just, to me, it wasn't what I'm used to seeing from him.
Respectfully, I disagree pretty hard. I think the passing game is the strength of this team right now. If not for turnovers,
well, I'll even say,
lit it up
cool.
last week.
It got to the fourth quarter for them to start doing something, but that's at the end of the day, that's the problem.
So
here.
real quick, asking to answer this question, which one's been better? If you look at all 5 games, has the offense been better or the defense been better?
Offense. Offense has been great.
I think it's a no-brainer the offense has been better.
Offense has been great 4 times.
You don't think so?
Egg.
You don't think so?
Because we are using that, comparing it when we talk about those 3 first games. And it's like, yeah, they did great, but look at who they were playing.
Yeah, but this last game, the offense had a slow start, but the offense still ended up at some point, they got on a roll. And I know you can say that the Packers defense may have loosened up a little bit. I don't think they loosened up enough to just they were scoring. I just think the offense, they played a bad first half. They came back around, and that looked more like what we'd seen for most of the season.
The defense, and we said this week, the defense has not played a quarterback that has won a game this year, and they still haven't with it Sam Darnold. So, I mean,
beaten one, you mean? Because
haven't beaten.
Yeah.
That's one again. Yeah,
I mean,
quarterback.
Yeah.
That Packers secondary was third in the league in yards allowed going into that game, and they put up
pretty bad.
And not even that in the first half. They were making mistakes, but they were moving the ball. There was no doubt they were moving the ball. I mean, we were saying in the press box, they basically can take whatever they want with Amari. Like, they couldn't hold him from the beginning of the game. Like, he was wide open. He was completely losing his guy almost every time you saw him downfield. So, I think it's clear the offense has been better. I just think that, I think the defense is not as good as it was last year. I'm still trying to question how good are they going to be.
Yeah.
Are they going to grow into being closer to that, or is it going to be closer to what we've seen so far?
To go back to my point, I'm like, get through this game, win it because you need it in the standings, blah, blah, blah,
However
blah.
you win it.
Whatever. Get some guys healthy, and then we get another chance to see what they're really about against what I think always was a very good Eagles team. Like, people are trying to overreact to a couple early season struggles from them. Like, I don't think they're going anywhere. Yeah. So big test a week from now. I just honestly just want to get this game out of the way.
All right.
Assuming they win it.
We will figure it.
I don't want to come into work if they don't. Do I have to be here on Monday if they don't?
I don't want to deal with that either. We'll be back on Monday to tell you guys what went right and what went wrong for the Cowboys this Sunday at 3:30. They'll take on the New York Jets in New Jersey. Till then, for Nick Eatman, Dave Hellman, Amber Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com. Radio Hook 'em.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?